Okay, everybody, I thank you all so very much for being here. If I had my choice, we've got a few hundred people here. If I had my choice, what I'd really like would be to have a conversation with you as opposed to making a presentation to you. And I'm going to try to conduct it along those lines. This was described as the first VIP overview. And I want you all to know that I understand with complete, absolute clarity who the VIP is here. The VIP is you. And I feel like I've got a pretty deep obligation right now to help each one of you understand specifically and exactly what the possibilities are. And before I even break into what the company is, I just want to pose to each one of you a question. What is it for you? I always choose to take just the first minute or two. If we were meeting in my home right now, and I wish we were face to face together. What I would do is I'd ask you first the question. I'd say, who are you and why are you here? And I kind of need to know that because the message is not the same for all of us. I'm looking at one named Ron that I don't know, and some people, Joe, I don't know. Because I don't know what it is for you, it's hard for me to be specific. And so this has to be a kind of a broad brush overview, which we then reduce to your personal objectives. But I pose the question to others, who are you and why are you here? And then I think it's logical that I would respond to that and tell you who I am and why I'm here. And it's really simple. My name is Randy Schrader, and why am I here? I was raised many, many years ago in a home with inadequate financial resources. That's why I'm here still. I can still call to mind with greater clarity what it felt like to me when I went to school in third grade and came home and said to my mom, Mom, I want Converse sneakers. And she said, Randy, we can't afford Converse sneakers. And I came home from school a couple of days later and I said, Mom, I want Levi's jeans. She said, Randy, you know that we can't afford Levi's jeans. And I can still call to clarity I can still call to mind with greater clarity what it felt like to not have enough than I can respond to my current life experience of having had so much success for so many years. And my wife is kind of a magical person because she helped me figure out what exactly it is that I want. She helped me because she helped me creating the outline for a book called More Happy More of the Time. And that is what I want. And that's what I think other people want too. And I've come to understand what the contributors are to me, at least being more happy more of the time. And I'm guessing those may be some of the very same contributors for you. And those contributors are, and this is, I hope, not inappropriate for any of you. It's Easter weekend. It's a degree of spiritual wellness. And I realize that your particular version of spirituality may be outside of mine. But to be more happy more of the time requires a degree of spiritual wellness. I believe that it requires a degree of physical wellness and fitness. It requires a degree of mental acuity and wellness. It requires that we have emotional wellness. I think it also, if we have spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional wellness, then that makes it possible for us to see, to discern moments of profound opportunity. And that also gives us the courage and the clarity to act upon that. So if we have a degree of spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional wellness, then that gives us the opportunity to gain financial wellness. That's what we're here to talk about today, the chance to have a complete, total, absolute financial breakthrough in your life if that's what you're looking for. So many years ago, I read this very issue of Boys Life magazine. And this issue of Boys Life magazine said when I was in third grade that if I wanted to, I could become a dealer in a direct selling company called Watkins Products. This is a bottle of Watkins vanilla that I sold 50 years ago. My solution to financial constraints, my solution to financial hardship since the time I was a little tiny boy has been to engage in a home based business model. And so when I pose the question of who are you and why are you here, and then I tell you who I am and why I am here because I was fortunate, blessed. I discovered a way quite a few years ago. I discovered a way. Whoops, and someone's sharing the screen. We've got to stop that. I discovered a way to separate myself from financial scarcity. And I discovered a way to have that removal from financial scarcity be directly attributed to other people's removal from financial scarcity. And I can think of no greater avocation. I believe that money doesn't solve all the world's problems, but I think that financial scarcity exacerbates almost every other problem. And so we come to the earliest days, the pre-launch experience of a company that I am completely convinced is going to make a huge amount of difference in a lot of people's lives, a huge amount of difference in a lot of people's lives. And in this conversation of ours, what I want to do is walk you through not just the basic business presentation, but I want to walk you through that business presentation and describe to you my perceptions of this series of realities. And in so doing, I'm hoping that you will understand with clarity why it is that I've chosen to set aside so many other important issues and topics in my life right now so that I can fully and completely address this possibility. And so, what is Nelo life? Well, this represents to me more than a business possibility. It represents a possibility to continue a process which has been ongoing for me for many years to do what? To learn, grow, develop, and become that which I must to fully harvest the value of every opportunity available to us in life. That's what I want to do. I want to learn, grow, develop, and become. My guess is that if each of you join me in the idea that we learn, grow, develop, and become, we become more successful in all aspects of our life. We'll be more happy more of the time. The company's basic message is to teach, travel, and transform. To teach what? Let's all realize this: my current life successes, my current life experience in total is a result of that which I know, and so is yours. Our current life experience is reflective of that which we know. That is knowledge. Knowledge is a good thing to develop, it's a good thing to gather more of. Knowledge doesn't make any money. The world is full of knowledgeable people who don't accomplish much financially. Knowledge is what we know, skill is what we know how to do. That is when we identify our natural talents, work, 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 and work to convert those talents into skills which become beneficial to others. And so, what do we seek to do in this community? We seek to each person gather the added knowledge. Knowledge in what areas? Knowledge in all aspects of life, knowledge specifically as it relates to our primary business purposes. If we gather more knowledge, if we then become resolute, each of us, in applying ourselves to converting that knowledge into skills that become beneficial to others, we then have an opportunity to have a tremendous financial breakthrough while helping others do the same. So we seek to teach and we seek to grow together communities. And the next picture, I think, will be my counterparts and new friends who own this business. And one of the things that have been of tremendous fascination to me has been in conversation with one of the company founders, Eric Allen, who's had a lot of experience in the travel industry. And he talked to me about the realities. If a person comes to one of the curated group travel experiences, the community that is formed, the bond between others becomes so tremendously great that the likelihood of that person remaining actively engaged in the business model, therefore still being a part of your financial success as a result of them doing what they want to do, 90% plus people will return to next year's event if they come to this year's premium curated travel experience. In the business side of our message, what do we seek to do? Not just work to get paid once. You can do that with a job. It is to work paid to get many, many, many times. It is to work once to get paid many times. That depends upon people entering the community and staying in it forever. My own experience is that if a person's gathering new knowledge, converting that knowledge into skills that become beneficial to others, and at the same time becoming willing to confront oneself or be confronted by another, such that any area of character weakness which stands between us and more positive association with more people can be removed. You see, it says teach, travel, and then transform. Teach, deliver the information that is necessary for a new person to have a different outcome. Travel, develop community together that creates relationships that are so tightly knit they simply cannot be broken. And as a result of the experience, a process, learn, grow, develop, become, to transform. And to transform not just in terms of adding more money, but to have an overall improved life experience. Now, over the course of my years in business, I have come to understand that there are five elements which are required for success. I've come to understand which of those elements is most important. Those elements, by the way, are what? The first element required for success is a product or a service that matters to people. And I would here remind you all of this simple thought. A few months ago, about a year ago, I became extraordinarily intrigued with the idea of no longer getting paid in my life because I'm a persuader. The truth is, I'm a persuader. Some of you are persuaders. At one station of my career, I persuaded, with the help of some other fantastic leaders, but I persuaded an entire body of the population that they should be using a natural solution to reduce their cholesterol instead of using a prescription drug. As a result of assembling a team of knowledgeable and skillful persuaders, we built a great big business. At another chapter in my life, we built a big business persuading others that they should increase antioxidant values by using the acai berry from Brazil. For the last decade, I've been persuading people about the benefits of non psychoactive cannabis. Here's what I know: if instead of getting paid because we're persuading others to do something we would like them to do, if we can instead get paid to help other people do what they've already decided to do, You see, what Nick and Eric and Larry had the clarity to see, which I did not see, as one day they were apparently driving down a highway, seeing hotels on the right and the left, is people are checking into those hotels, aren't they? And they're checking in not because we told them to. They're not checking into a hotel because we asked them to. They're checking into a hotel, they're booking an airline, they're booking a vacation. They're not doing it because we asked them to. They're doing it because they want to, either because their business or job requires it, or because a family vacation causes them to desire it. And so this vision that has been prominent in my mind now for several months, and it gets bigger all the time, the idea of getting paid not because we're causing other people to do something we want them to do, but that in fact we're getting paid as a result of helping people do what they want to do, but helping them do it for a little less money. That for me is a valid idea. Um, when I said at the outset there are 5 elements required for success, the first, a product or service that matters to people. Well, the question, what is the product? The product is the chance to learn, grow, develop, and become that which you must to get the key in the lock of success in every aspect of your life. The product, the opportunity being offered, is the chance to become in a community of some of the most extraordinary people I've ever seen who have found a way to overcome obstacles in every part of life. And it's a chance specifically to be guided by this leadership group that I now put in front of you. When I said there are 5 elements required for success, those 5 elements are: first, a product or service that matters to people. In my estimation, we offer not just a, but several products and services today and more coming. And when I say today, I mean the next week or 10 days, that matter to almost all people. And so that part is kind of a given. The second element required for success, for most of my life, I've kind of given short order. I've said it's the company, because I've long believed that the assembly of a leadership group is the responsibility of us, the leadership in the organization. The development of a leadership group is historically, for me, not been the role of the company. You know what? I've never had an ownership group who could teach, coach, and educate about the principles of building a network marketing organization like Nick, Eric, and Larry can. And by the way, some people have asked me, Randy, why are you in such unabashed support of this group of people? I'm in such unabashed support of this group of people because I've seen the way they've conducted themselves over the course of the last 9, 10, and 11 months in what was an extraordinarily difficult environment, trying to help another entrepreneur get their company off the ground. And I saw the way these guys responded when things went well, and I saw the way they responded when things went poorly. And I'll tell you, I saw with great fascination not an ability to not just hold people together in a challenging environment, but to deliver the kind of leadership that caused people to remain optimistic in the face of extraordinary difficult times. And so I want you to know that I have absolutely no hesitation whatsoever in complete, total, and absolute support of Nick Sorensen, Eric Allen, and Larry Lane. Different skills, different capacities. We all benefit tremendously now from specifically Eric's experience in the travel industry. We benefit specifically now from Nick's experience in the financial services and trading world. We benefit very specifically from all 3 of these gentlemen's experience and knowledge in building very, very large, successful network marketing organizations. And by the way, I've observed that firsthand. It is There can sometimes be luck involved when one is a one-hit wonder, when one has a measure of success one time in a company in network marketing. When a person has multiple successes, when it becomes decades long and is not tied to a specific moment of timing with a specific company, when success results again and again because proper principles are being applied, proper leadership groups are being created, that is when the best way to correctly predict the future, I believe, is to carefully and critically study the past. The best way to win is to associate yourself with winners. And that is exactly what I have done and what we each have an opportunity to do. Now, the reality is that the vast majority of people who are interacting with me right now have a pressing and somewhat urgent need to make money. We can watch the news, and we can get impressions of what's going on in the economic realities of families. My impression is that there are a lot of people who are really struggling today, and I get that impression. If you go to the gas station, you'll see the number of people who are walking inside to pay for their gas. Why is that? It's because they haven't got the credit available on their credit card. And so when I first looked at anything that would cost money as opposed to make money, I said, this has got to be something that is incredibly attractive at every single level. And I think the Neo Life, the Nelo lifestyle membership does exactly that. I mean, truly. Oops, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, one more time. There we go. Sorry about that. And so, what exactly is inclusive in that membership? First of all, Neo Life Travel. I have had the benefit, by the way, of having a glimpse into the travel partner back office. It's important for you to know that while Nelo Life is a new company, the travel partner is not new at all. The travel partner, in fact, is very, very large, has existed for a long time, has done an enormous amount of business doing corporate junkets around the world. I did have Eric was kind enough to send me a preview link to Glance not too many a couple of weeks ago, and I can tell you that if what you want to do is book the Grand Hyatt in Hong Kong, you can, and you can book it for less money, a few percent less than if you book that same hotel on Expedia. And you say, Randy, a few percent? 10%? Is that enough? Well, what if the room's $800 because it's the Grand Hyatt in Hong Kong? Yeah, it's absolutely enough. What if you want to book the Holiday Inn Express in Tarpon Springs, Florida? Well, you can do that too. And you'll save $8 or $10 or $7 or $6. Is that enough? Yes, if it's measured against a $10 price. Neo Life Travel, the opportunity to help other people do what they want to do because they want to do it, not because we want them to. We're helping other people do what they want to do because they want to do it. We're helping them do it for a little less money. It doesn't have to be a lot less money, it can be a little less money. Now you get to the life trips. Here, I've come to understand that when we gather people together in groups and communities and we create relationships of mutual trust and respect, when we create relationships that transcend the business offering, that is when we have a legitimate chance to grow a business that stands the test of time. When it is tied purely to the economic opportunity, my experience is this: if it's tied purely to the economic opportunity, there are too many opportunities for pride, ego, arrogance, disappointments. The human condition is one that sometimes puts people at odds. When it is only about money, the organization will one day, if not fracture, it will fail to reach its fullest potential. When it transcends being only about money, when it is about relationship, when it is all inclusive. My belief is that by participating in one of the premium curated travel experiences, if you can influence people in your group to become in association with the leadership in the network and the leadership at the company, if you can cause people to embrace this as not simply a money making mechanism, but in fact the chance to learn, grow, develop, and become that which I must to have greater success in all aspects of my life, that will become more tangibly real for those who participate in the life trips and those who do not. Now, those life trips are USA only presently, but that will change in the not too distant future. When I say not too distant future, I will leave that completely open ended so we don't create unrealistic expectations. Neo life streaming. This plays directly into my worldview. Remember that today, at this second in time, we find ourselves joining a new entity, a remarkable possibility, in my estimation. Let's stop and ask ourselves this simple question: do we believe we'll all get the same outcome? What do you think? Will we all get the same outcome? Well, as a result of certain components of this compensation plan, the fact that it's a forced matrix that will create a more level playing field than any other compensation mechanism in network marketing, we will all get more of some of the outcomes, but will we all get the same outcome? No, we will not. What will be the difference? Because the opportunity is the same for all. The compensation plan is the same for all. The product offerings are the same for all. What then is the difference? The difference is the ability to execute of each next individual. And that is why the next bullet point, where it says Nelo Life Streaming, hits into my sweet spot. What we currently know how to do, and the way we currently conduct ourselves, our knowledge, our skills, and our character dictate our current outcome. If we take that exact same bank of knowledge, skill, and character and apply it to a new company, because of the unique dynamics of this particular company, because of the most profound moment of timing I've seen in the last 25 years, there will be those who will bring exact current skills into this, and for the second, for the next few moments, because like sands through the hourglass, we find such critically important moments right now. There will be those whose earnings outperform their own personal development for a period of time. That will not remain true long term. It is those who are constantly on a path of growth who stay in front of the curve. I've realized for the last 30 years, my principal job is in growing people, and that will continue both in my own leadership camp, boot camp efforts, but also specifically in Nelo live streaming. The Nelo Live Shop, I've watched with fascination. I study the entire direct selling industry. I never want to think of myself as copying anyone, but certainly I want to think of myself as learning from what other people do. I mean, it would be insane to say that other people don't have something to teach me. And I've watched with fascination a couple of companies have really, really tremendous success on a multinational scale over the course of the last couple of years in the post COVID environment, simply by providing relatively modest discounts to a market basket of consumer goods that people want and need on a daily basis. The Nelo Life Shop will make that opportunity available in the United States, pretty much coming out of the gate. And I will tell you in advance that it will begin with a relatively modest group of offerings. In fact, it's already there. You've seen some of them. I'm personally involved in conversations to bring other really, really exciting products to the company, both domestically and internationally. And one of the things, and in fact, I will just be quiet and I'll wait until Nick or someone at the company announces it. But I learned some things about the way the store will operate in the last couple of days, specifically as it relates to our income generating possibility that I was unaware of until literally yesterday or the day before. The live shop. And then, of course, I have been an advocate of teaching people this basic truth. We will never have financial security in our lives as long as it is us, the individual, who's making the money. If you are making the money, you do not have financial security because if something happens to you, there's no more money being made. The time when we have true financial security is when our money makes the money that is required for us to support our lifestyle. I wish that the life trade possibility would be available in the United States immediately. It cannot be. SEC rules in the United States are quite robust. The trading program that will be introduced multinationally is something that I support entirely. Once again, I've used that word a couple of times. I support entirely. Um, I've been not an advocate of trading programs for the consuming public. I was in the financial services world for quite a while. I've seen where people get hurt trying to individually know how to trade on signals and so on. This mechanism, I'll allow you to learn it more specifically from the company in the markets where it is available, but it's a very, very risk averse, a hedged portfolio of institutional money. It is not about convincing individual investors that they would know how to succeed in the trading arena, because I don't believe that they will. This is the absolute truth. If a person did not have financial constraints, what would they do over and over and over again? The response is, I would like to see and experience the world. When I think of what this direct selling industry has done for me, certainly the fact that my financial life has been different than I ever dreamed it could be, that's been important. But you know what's likewise been important? I did not know, for example, not a comfortable admission for me, but I was raised in a little community in Idaho where every single person was the same color, had the same tone in their skin. We were all the same religion. I did not know that I was raised into certain forms of bigotry. I didn't even know that until I started working in environments and I found out that people all over the world have different spiritual beliefs. They have different life's experiences and they all want the same thing. They all want to be more happy more of the time. And the same components contribute to that for all of us. When, as a result of becoming successful in this industry, I lived for a period of time in Japan, my worldview changed. When I lived for a period of time in Israel, my worldview changed. When I lived for a period of time in Singapore and traveled extensively throughout Indonesia and Malaysia, my worldview changed. Um, we don't just have fun when we travel. It's more than that. My own experience is that our worldview changes. And my further experience is that the bigger my worldview is, the bigger my financial outcome can be in that worldview. I promise you, when you log into the travel portfolio, you are going to be impressed. You're going to be impressed with the look. You're going to be impressed with the feel. And you're also going to be impressed with the actual value proposal in the travel offering itself. And remember this in wisdom which I would not have had, the company chose to be so very, very lenient and generous to people at the very front end of the compensation plan that one need not even enroll a single member himself or herself to have the basic monthly fee to access all of the company's opportunities will be covered by by many, many, many people who have not even enrolled one, but who, as a result of the community build, getting paid through 4 generations, have that travel portfolio available at literally no cost. And by the way, magic to that message. For so many years, I argued that if we pay people who do nothing, we won't have the money left to pay those who really produce. That was wrong thinking. What we should do is provide a mechanism that makes it an absolute automatic to stay forever involved. if we allow a person with literally zero productivity to nevertheless get compensated in the compensation plan an amount equal to or greater than whatever is the monthly cost of association, then there's no reason to ever quit. Therefore, we will not need to be always filling the bottom of the bucket. A life trip for everybody. I am so thrilled to note that the first one for the domestic market has already been announced coming up this fall. And this is my experience. It's interesting to me to look. I see the person I happen to be seeing on the screen right now is Jim Moyles. And Jim Moyles and I, we have a friendship and a relationship that has spanned some 30 years. And you know what, Jim? Part of that relationship, in fact, the entire relationship was hinged on our joint association in the network marketing industry, wasn't it? And that entire association was also developed by the fact that we did things together in various parts of the world. I cannot imagine what else we might have been involved in that would have resulted in this relationship going so far, so long, and impacting so many people for good. That happens to be one person whose picture I'm looking at on the screen right now. Multiply that by literally tens of thousands of people, not all of whom have had the same experience as Jim and I have had, but what an amazing thing it has been. Our first life trip is coming up, and I will tell you that there will be relationships formed on that very first trip that will stand the test of time. As I now reference my friend, we've done literally millions and millions of dollars in business together. We've had a life experience together. There will be people who meet for the first time at that event who then become not just business associates, but friends. And some of those relationships will stand the test of time. They'll be standing 30 years from now. And a positive side effect of all that that relationship has become will become increased financial success and more positive life experience for all involved. Leo, we talked briefly about Nelo live streaming, the idea that we must all learn, grow, develop, and become. It's on its way. Initial items in the live shop. Once again, items that we buy and use that are good, that represent value, and you can have 28 to 30% discounts off what you might find in the local health food store. And investment trading. I've long been a subscriber to the idea that it is not about the money we make, it is about the money that our money makes. I've subscribed to the principles taught in The Richest Man in Babylon, authored by George S. Clason so many years ago, authored in 1903. And what he taught was that we must pay ourselves first. We scrape some of every single commission check off of the top. We invest it conservatively and wisely into a managed portfolio. And you know, those people who are able to do that multinationally in our trading program, I am envious of you. Those who cannot yet access that program, sweep 10% off of the top anyway and invest it in a similar managed portfolio domestically, mimic and mirror, match what we're doing internationally until such program becomes available domestically, which is coming. I'm not going to go into further detail with the trading program now, except to tell you it's the single largest, it is the single largest market we could possibly participate in. We understand that there are countless people who would like to use our service, but who don't have an interest in the business right now. That is fantastic. There are lots and lots and lots more people who are going to travel this year than who are going to launch a new business this year. We want to be involved in all parts of that. In the referral program, when a customer simply refers 3 others to utilize the services, that grants access to that customer, the original customer, for free. Let's talk just a little bit about what. So I'm going to go back over here and have to do a little bit more reading. I apologize. Get back over here. Stop this share for a second. Okay, mute. Just keep doing that. Okay, and we'll come back over to my share screen. Sorry, folks. So now let's get specifically and exactly to where the rubber hits the road. We have here nearly 400 people reviewing this session right now, and I don't know what percentage of those people have a current pressing financial need. I'm guessing that quite a few do. And I want to remind you all, those who have a current pressing financial need, when I talk about the possibility of engaging in a travel program and you traveling, you might be saying to yourself, wait a minute, Randy, I need to make money right now. I'm not concerned about spending money. I would remind you that my single biggest financial success in my life came not because I wanted or needed the product the company offered. It was a cholesterol reduction item. I was 32 years old and had no need for that. What I recognized was a tremendous market for that which the company offered. I did not need to have a personal need for it. I would consider the Neolife membership to be something that is for everyone, because literally everyone is going to book into a hotel room somewhere this year. Why not do it on their own site as opposed to somebody else's site? Why not pay yourself a little bit as opposed to paying somebody else? I consider the business mechanism something that would have a appropriate application for more people, a larger percentage of society, than anything I've seen before in my own business career. I probably do that quick. You know, time get that background noise out. One simple business principle that I learned many years ago: if the market that I am in is staying the same size, let's imagine for a moment that I am in a market. In fact, I'm going to grab myself a whiteboard here. Hope you guys can see that. I want you to imagine for just 1 second that here is the market that I am in, and I am in the market, and Jim is in the market. Reference my friend Jim Moyles there a second ago. And Jim, he's better than me. So there's Jim, and here's Randy. And Jim's got 65%, and I've got 35%. But other people can see that we're succeeding. They're taking a look and they'll say, wow, look at the home that Jim Moyles lives in. Look at the life he lives. Look at that Randy guy. He seems to live a nice life. And so I saw just a second ago that Brian Rhodes entered this Zoom. And so here was Brian. Brian, he's out here. He's on the outside. He's looking in. And he says, wow, Jim's making money and Randy's making money. I want a piece of that. And so he comes in. Well, Brian's a good guy. What's going to happen when Brian comes in? He's going to get some of that, isn't he? And where's it going to come from? Well, some's going to come from Jim and some's going to come from Randy. That's what happening. That's what happens when the market that we're in is the same size. What if there's some outside force or pressure dynamic that's causing the market to get smaller? Well, then there's not only not room for Brian to come, one of Randy or Jim's going to get squeezed out. Now, what if, on the other hand, there is some outside force or pressure or dynamic that's big, it's powerful, it's beyond our control, and it's causing the market to grow, and the market's growing more rapidly than Jim and I can handle? I can't handle it all. It's growing too fast. I don't have room. Jim can't either. Well, now Brian can come in and get this piece for himself without taking it from Randy or Jim. I've learned over the course of my entire career that if we can position ourselves in markets that are growing dramatically, then we will be in a non-competitive environment. And so let's just take a really quick look. Here we can see that the current market for travel is $8.3 trillion annually. Well, that's a great big market. But what did we just learn? Just a couple of days ago, it was Bloomberg in Europe said that that market would grow by 30% in the next immediate few years. 30% added to 8.3 trillion, folks. That's another 2.4 trillion added to it. Dramatic market expansion. Whether or not you knew it when you said yes to this idea, or what will occur when you say yes to this idea, is you'll put yourself in an environment where the market is growing more dramatically than the current participants can absorb. Therefore, you're in a non-competitive environment. If you want to make making money a pleasure and relatively easy, then don't compete with others, but earn market share that you don't have to take from another. I have unbelievable enthusiasm for the pay plan. And I know that the typical anticipation when one logs into one of these sessions is that it will be brief and that I've taken a little bit more time, but one needs to understand the way that the compensation plan works. First and foremost, we know that people are under financial pressure right now. They need to get the money back. Every single person that you introduce to this program who says yes to it, that will earn you a $25 bonus. That is called the starter bonus. By the way, what is your entry fee? It is $79, $79 annually. You enroll one person, you got 25. Enroll two, you're 2/3 of the way home. Enroll your third person, and you're cash flow positive. I promise you there'll be lots and lots and lots of people who enroll their first, their second, their third person in their first 45 minutes of involvement with the program. What is the unified bonus? It's more than a name. It is the concept of getting paid because we're assuring that other people get paid. Money that we make because other people spend is bad money. Money that we make because other people try and struggle is not good money. Money that we make because other people earn is very, very good money. The whole concept of the unified bonus is to make sure that the enroller is more than an enroller, but a responsible sponsor. When you enroll one person, you get paid 25 bucks every time you do it. When you help that person get unified, you get paid $75 each time. What does it mean to be unified? It means that you've enrolled two and you've helped them get two. Now you're unified. That pays $75 each time. Don't underestimate the importance of that. We will have people who in the first 2 weeks have 50, 75, 100 people get unified in the first 2 weeks. There are people who need that 10, 15, or 20 times $75. If you're among them, then you be among those who say, this is my moment, like sands through the hourglass. There go the days of my lives. People will take action. People will say yes based upon fear of loss at a totally different level than they will based upon anticipation of gain. That is why one can have such a greater outcome in a very short period of time today. The unified build, I'm going to skip through that one quickly because I'm a little bit late on time. This is really important, folks. How does the starter bonus work? I just described it. You enroll one person, you get 25 bucks. Each time Bob enrolls one, he gets 25. When you help Bob become unified, what does that mean? When you help Bob become unified, then that pays you $75. I realize these are small figures, but I've learned that one must focus first on the little money. Having focused on the little money, it then becomes appropriate to go to the larger money. So I'm going to give you a brief illustration. I'm going to give you a brief whiteboard illustration of three different kinds of money that can be earned in this compensation plan. And by the way, I see that Nick Sorensen is here. Nick, if I